Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Matt and I'm currently in the process of putting gutter guards on my house. If you're the type of person that really enjoys doing research and data, you've come to the right place, because I did a good amount of research before I made a purchase on these gutter guards. I like to get a good deal and I like to get whatever is going to work the best, essentially. I would highly recommend watching this entire video, or at least most of it, so that you can see where you should start, because you're probably going to have to start in a different area than I'm starting in, and you will probably learn some things that you wish you knew at the beginning before you started. Costco was the cheapest cost per foot for me, and that is including buying the basic membership. They're called Easy On Gutter Guard. Easy On is the brand name, Gutter Guard is the name of the product. I am definitely not a professional. I'm just a homeowner. You know, do your own research, read the directions. If you don't have a corner to start at, like this section right here does not have a corner. All I have is a downspout. So when you have just a downspout, what you're going to want to do is start at the downspout. There's two ways you're going to want to install it. And that is all just depending on how far it is between your roof and your gutter. In this particular instance, there's not really enough room between the gutter and the roof. So I'm gonna have to bend this piece down. The other thing I'm gonna have to do is cut the end off of here. You wanna leave a little overhang on the end. What I'm gonna do is basically mark the end of my house right here to cut the gutter guard. Right around here. And then for this part, we want to line it up like with the end of the gutter itself. So right around here. Now this is our neat little trick that I figured out. This is the main reason I wanted to make this video. This top part is not that difficult to cut. However, this part is very difficult to cut. This aluminum is very thick on this side versus this side. I happen to have some bolt cutters from some car work that I did. I had to cut a bolt off, so I had these lying around already. I got them from Harbor Freight. This is the 24-inch. These cut like butter. They don't cut all the way through, however, they make cutting this thick piece so much easier. It's so easy I can do it one-handed like nothing. Didn't cut all the way through, but that's fine. Now on this end, I'm gonna do the same thing. There we go. Now look how easy this is, one-handed. One-handed. So then you're going to want to cut this off. Just cut along the edge. So if there's only a small gap in between your roof and your gutter, you're going to have to bend this gutter guard. The top piece, you're going to have to bend it away from you. And they recommend doing this on a straight surface. I found that I'm perfectly fine with it not being, having a perfect straight line all the way down it. So I just have been bending it with my fingers. Do not bend this while you're, on a ladder or an unlevel surface. This part of my roof is not at much of an angle at all, so I'm comfortable doing this on my roof. But the rest of the times I've done this, I've done it on the ground. I'm basically just gonna use my fingers. This is what it's gonna look like. Got a little bit of an angle on it. 90-degree angle. So what I do is I just set it up here. My gutter is actually bent down here. On the end here, you don't want anything to get inside the gutter, but you also want it to look nice. So what you do is you fold this down. It's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Now in the kit, you're going to get these screws. Do not use the Phillips head. It is a waste of your time. I tried it at the beginning and it took forever to install these. 1/4 inch socket. I don't know if this is the same on every gutter, but on my gutter, it's going to be this. There's 2 lines. I don't know if you can see these lines. There's 2 lines on this aluminum. So the top line on my gutters is basically the inner edge of the gutter, and then this bottom line is like the center of the top of the gutter. So that's where I'm going to want to drill into. I've been doing it like 2-3 inches from the end on the full length pieces. So it's literally just put your drill into clockwise, like you're tightening something. These screws are gonna go into the metal all on their own. This kit gives you enough screws to put 3 screws in every piece. So you're basically gonna put it into the gutter. That lip that that was difficult to cut through, that would have been difficult to cut through, is gonna rest right up against the inner edge of this gutter. This is the first time I've had to deal with a bent gutter. This isn't that bent. Okay, so I bent it, and now I'm just gonna put it under my roof. And when I put it under the roof, this flat edge is just gonna sit against the house. And then when you do the end of it, the mesh, if you have some hanging off, which you should, you're gonna want the mesh to sit on top of the next one over's mesh. My thought is the gutter, you're gonna want, it's just like shingles, right? If the water's flowing one way, you're gonna want to stack the shingles the other way, right? So the water's coming down my roof. So the shingle, you put the bottom shingle on first, right? And then you put the next one, and then you put the bottom row on first, then the next row, then the next row, then the next row. And then that way the water's not flowing under your shingles, it's flowing over the top of your shingles. I think it's the same with your gutters. So, because the side away from my downspout, which is over here, the side away from my downspout should technically be the highest point. The water is going to tend to run towards the downspout, right? So just like the roof, the water is going to go this way. The gutter, it's going to go this way. So just think of your gutter as shingles. So because the water's flowing this way, you're going to want to start at this end. So you do the first one and then the second one all the way down to the high end. The high end you do last. So there's your finished product. This end you do the same as the other end. It's just you just got to make sure that you have the end of this piece touching the other end, and then you want to have a couple inches. You want it folded down on the end, the mesh. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the mesh is folded underneath on the end. So that's just to help keep debris from flying through the side here. But that's it. All right, we're gonna start on this corner now because we have this long straight piece right here with no downspout. Wraps around the corner and then goes all the way to the end of the house where the downspout is. So whenever you have a corner, you want to start at the corner. You want to start on the downspout side. When you do the other side, you're going to want to put this as far under as possible and then mark the outer edge of this gutter and then cut that, and then this is going to get folded underneath. I cut this with the bolt cutters, and then I just got to cut this part. I cut it and bent it under. To finish it off, I just left some extra mesh on the end. I put it in the gutter first, so it's just folded in there like this at the end, and that's that part. Thanks for bearing with me with this video. I just realized that I never recorded an outro, and I had a bunch of difficulty trying to record installing this section because it's too slanted for me to set the phone on it without falling. So thanks for bearing with me. This is the first video that I've edited in over 20 years. The very first YouTube I've ever edited. So let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe. This was really a practice video for another channel that I'm about to start. Again, my name's Matt, and I'll see you in the next one.